everybody. How's everybody doing? Right? That is a bit of a rhetorical question. I hope you know, right? In other words, actually, no, maybe it's not a rhetorical question, right? You can tell me how you're doing. You can put it all below in the comments section, right? And say how you're doing. So I take that back. It's not a rhetorical question. But I'm not here to talk to you about rhetoric. Actually, what I'm here to talk to you about today is an interesting astrological configuration that's going on over the course of the next couple of weeks, and it's all being kicked off by this full moon on the 14th of November, the full moon in Kritika nakshatra. And what we've got is on that very same day, Venus is going to shift into Purva Ashadha nakshatra, which is actually ruled by Venus. Then the following day, we've got Jupiter shifting into Chitra nakshatra. While this is all going on, and this process is kind of taking place between the 14th and the 23rd, 24th of November, you've also got Mars in Sravana nakshatra. Now, I'm going to tell you what all this means. I'm not just going to drop nakshatra names on you, right? So let's talk about this full moon, which is in Kritika nakshatra, and let's come to an understanding of Kritika nakshatra, which a good way to understand the nakshatras many times is to understand the deity that's connected to each particular nakshatra, and each nakshatra has a power, right? And there's all this other rich symbolism that's connected with each nakshatra. Now, Kritika nakshatra on many levels is about purification, and it's associated with Agni, the fire god, so to speak. So with Kritika nakshatra, some key words are truth, and when the truth is uncertain, right, there's the purification of all of those things that are keeping you from being able to see the truth. Now, truth, that's a rather vast word, isn't it? Obviously there's absolute truth, which is beyond any explanation or any potential understanding that the limited human mind can really comprehend very easily, unless you're some, self-realized being, and then you have an understanding of that, right? But we each get deeper and deeper glimpses of that truth over time, right? And with this particular full moon, layers are peeling off so that something is becoming clearer to you. Now, that being the case, this is going to be taking place on a particular stage of your own individual life, right? I can give you the underlying undercurrents, so to speak, but if you want to know what particular area of your life this is impacting, what I would recommend to you is that you visit my astrological services page, which is linked through one of the links below. But back to talking about Kritika nakshatra. Kritika nakshatra is going to purify and burn away anything that gets in the way of one's individual understanding of that truth, right? You may notice, or you may not notice, may not be happening in this particular manner in your life. It may be happening on a more personal level. But I've been getting reports from a lot of people of communication, truthful communications, things coming to the surface that weren't coming out before in their interactions with other individuals. And this can take place on your own personal level. And I recently did a video on the full moon. You can probably find that if you're a regular follower of my YouTube page, okay? But mixed in with that, we've got Venus, which is going to be shifting into Purva Ashadha nakshatra. Let's talk a little bit about that particular nakshatra. The deity that's connected with Purva Ashadha is Apas, which is a water goddess, right? And this is the particular quality of water that rinses away all the impurities, right? It also invigorates. There's a lot of symbols connected with each nakshatra. With Purva Ashadha, one of those symbols that's commonly used is a winnowing basket. And what that used to be used to do was to take grain, and the grain would be tossed and churned around in the winnowing basket so that the wheat was separated from the chaff. And the wheat is the digestible part of the grain, obviously, and the chaff is that part that you can't digest. So what begins to happen happen through Purva Ashadha is the superficial layers of the ego are whittled away, right? So that we can get to the underlying essence. Once we tap into that essence, something becomes stronger. And that's why Purva Ashadha has that power of invigoration. Interestingly enough, while this is going on, we've got an aspect taking place from Jupiter to Venus that is increasing in strength, and equally an aspect between Jupiter and Mars that is increasing in strength. So Jupiter plays a key role in that equation. So we need to understand a little bit about Jupiter as well, right? And I'm dropping a lot of symbolism on you, right? But when we get towards the end of this, we're going to bring all of this together into a summarization for you. So Jupiter is going to be entering on the 15th. It's going to enter Chitra Nakshatra. Chitra Nakshatra is associated with Vishwakarman, also commonly listed as being associated with Tvashtar. Both are forms of a deity that is associated with the divine architect and the creation of Maya, right? Which is part of this divine play that we're all experiencing. So the divine architect definitely feeds into that equation too. But Tvashtar is more of the aspect of Vishwakarman that creates Maya, or the illusion that we each experience. Now with Chitra Nakshatra, there is a particular association with this nakshatra where many times you can get pulled in a certain direction. Something seems alluring to you, a particular path that you want to take. Something stirs something within you, right? Something, let's say, for instance, something's not going right in your life, and then something appears and it goes, this might be a solution to the problem that I'm looking for. And you start, or not the problem that I'm looking for, but we do look for problems, don't we, right? I'm kind of getting off on a tangent here, but actually maybe not. We do look for problems, right? Because we look for those problems in order to resolve our karma, in order to clarify, in order to purify, which is what we're talking about here, right? So basically, let's say, for instance, you've got a particular problem and something appears to you, and it appears to be a solution to your problem. So you start down that path. That something either turns out to be a solution to your problem or not. But with Chitra Nakshatra, if that's not the solution to your problem, you begin to find a deeper connection to what the solution to that problem actually is. Chitra Nakshatra is also connected with our ethics. So we get pulled in that direction because our heart is pulling us in that direction. Our values are pulling us in that direction, right? And we go, right, this fits in with my ethics. This fits in with my beliefs. So I'm going to go in that direction. And somewhere along the line, you actually find out that, wow, this was absolutely the right thing for me to do. Or you find that you kind of got led away off in the woods with the fairies and it wasn't the right thing for you to do. But if it wasn't the right thing for you to do, what you begin to discover is the truth of your heart in the process, right? Now, an interesting thing too, each of these nakshatras, every single nakshatra that is associated with one of the Trimurti. What are the Trimurti? Those are the deities Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, right? So all the Vishnu nakshatras are about differences in appearances, but underneath it all, the essence is the same. Now, why is that the case? Because Vishnu in general took several different incarnations. And underneath each of those incarnations, it was Vishnu. So each of these nakshatras has a tendency to reveal an underlying essence to us. And both Chitra and Purva Ashadha nakshatra are about that. So underneath the surface of all this, we're getting to the root of something by going through a purification process. We're following our heart. It's leading us in a certain direction, right? And we're deciding somewhere inside of each of us in a particular area of life that, you know what, I just got to be real. I've just got to be authentic. I've got to come out and voice the truth of my heart, even if on a certain level, I'm not absolutely sure what the truth of my heart is, right? But over the course of the next couple of weeks, you can be sure you're going to come to a deeper and deeper understanding of what that truth is. And you may find your association with the truth is evolving. You begin to see things one way that you have not seen them in before, right? And that pulls you in a certain direction so that you can evolve, so that you can grow in a particular area of your life. Now, I also mentioned to you, so Venus is in its own nakshatra, Purva Ashadha. Jupiter is in Chitra, which is ruled by Mars. Jupiter's forming an angle to both Venus and Mars is in Sravana nakshatra. And that's what we need to talk about next, and that's where we need to go next. Now, interestingly enough, with Sravana nakshatra, the Trimurti association is Brahma. But the deity, or the overall deity that's connected with Sravana nakshatra, is Vishnu, right? So as we were saying, Vishnu is the pervader, right? He pervades all things. He may appear in different forms, but underneath it, it's Vishnu, right? So with Sravana nakshatra, a lot of what happens with Sravana nakshatra is a process of tuning in, making connections by seeing things beneath the surface. Mars, obviously the planet of action. So these activities, actions that you're getting involved in over the course of the next, especially between the 14th and 24th of November exactly, there is a process through your actions of making deeper and deeper connections and coming to a deeper and deeper understanding of the truth in connection with the events that are going on in your life, right? Interestingly enough, each of the nakshatras too has something called a basis above, which we can think of that as what the heavens are giving us. A basis below, which is what we're experiencing here on Earth, and a result that happens through a union of that basis above and the basis below. So the basis above with Sravana is seeking, right? So the heavens give us the opportunity to seek, and that's what's happening through Mars. We're seeking through our actions, right? The basis below is we begin to see all the different paths that we could take, right? And the result of the union of seeking given to us by the heavens and the paths which we notice here on Earth are the connection of all things, right? We begin to see a deeper and deeper essence that underlies creation. So, one hint I want to drop your way in connection with all of this. Yes, you're coming to a deeper understanding of what your truth is, especially between now and the 24th. In a particular area of your life, that's going to play out. And again, if you would like to schedule a consultation with me so you can know more about how this is affecting you, the link is below. But a deeper connection to your truth is being revealed, right? But one thing to understand, because I find quite often people get caught in these circumstances. I just recognized I was whispering. You probably can't hear me, right? But people get caught in these circumstances where they think that because they come to a deeper understanding of something, that where they were at before was completely wrong, invalid, or they did something that they shouldn't have been doing. Really, on a certain level, that experience was what needed to happen for that particular period of your life. And now you're coming to a deeper understanding of what's evolving for you for the next stage, for the next journey. So as you move forward, hold no blame. Hold no blame, right? As a matter of fact, bless yourself for this next step, for this next stage, so that you can carry the truth, which is beginning to burn more brightly within your being, so that you can carry that forward. So just a reminder, once again, if you'd like to schedule an astrological consultation with me, there is a link below that will take you to my astrological services page, where you will see several different levels of astrological service available to you. That's going to do it for this brief video on Jupiter in Chitra, Venus in Purva Ashadha, and Mars in Sravana nakshatra for the 14th to the 24th of November 2016. And I should mention, before we go, Jupiter is going to be in Chitra Nakshatra between now and next May, because Jupiter will move forward and go retrograde back through that nakshatra. So some of these things we'll be reviewing over the coming months. Take care of yourself. Bye now.